Oh, and there, I forgot to turn off. I failed to turn off the thing. Okay. Oh, it's been a... So, hello. For an explanation, in case no one's aware, which, it recently wouldn't be, I've, for the past 2-3 years now, been writing a little story on the side. A fan fiction for a Toho project, called Toho Post Fantasy. I've been off and on it, losing motivation, gaining motivation, so on and so forth. And I've just, I decided after a video put up by one of the people who read it, that, of like an art video, that, hey, you know what? I should try to do... I should, actually stand up and, do it. Yeah, that was my thought process. And that's why we're here. That's why we're here right now. It is very hot, currently. Very, very hot for me. And I barely remember what happened, so honestly, this first stream is more or less just gonna be catching up on what the fuck I was doing last time, because I have a little memory and I have to get writing, so no one's here right now, so I'm just gonna probably read without saying anything, because I'm a today. Oh. But honestly, it's more so because I am indeed tired, because what a shock that doing all this stuff can get doing so much can get a bit tired. Okay. Up is the wait. Oh, there's something from it. That's my favorite comedy and something missing, but I don't know the end. I don't feel like even with them clothing to the type I'm buying something. Oh, dang it. Can't really help it. Go back and see when it was damaged. I have no idea how damaged clothing in the real world gens are over here, but I can't lie, that seems to have happened. I just don't sleep in my shrine announce it. I can, so the weight of it, even torn it is noticeable. The only I feel is the blanket, I think. Force myself to leave them. It's a brace dry, so my eyes slightly. The sun is shining through, and I can see the rays that. See by the rays that it's probably really early in the morning. I can see that I'm right. I mean, it's a blanket that I've never seen before. This is also the most boring looking ones too, being pure gray. I gently clutch the blanket. Soft, and will allow my sorry so far decline. Oh, the blanket's just a little bit harder, so I resist immediately coughing. Throats are dry. When I go last time, my throats are parched, honestly. When my eyes fell, I can easily see the situation is even odder than I expected. Because I'm not in my room. That light from the sun isn't coming from a high above window, but from one that I could probably touch if I reached out as is. Moving my body slowly, just my eyes around the room I'm in, taking as many details as I can. The windows take my attention first, it being a single round piece like one might see in an old school submarine. The wood looks straight and well cat, and got goes for every piece of what I can see. The roof directly above me is a tent shape, and the bed I'm in seems to be more of a cot. I was against the wall, so as I turn my eyes to the left along with my head, I see Teki. Yeah, I know, that's taking another cop. By the way, if anyone wants explanations for literally anything, and you're actually existing in the chat, yes, go ahead. Oh, holy shit. Hi, Carrie. Welcome. I wasn't actually expecting anyone to come over here for this really early stream of me currently catching up with my own writing. I remember what the hell was happening last time. I wrote Ugh. Neither was I expecting to wake up and be so tired. Jeez. Taking as many deals as you can. The window takes my attention first. Her clothes are torn beyond belief, as bad, if not worse than my own, but despite that and some light scuffs I can see, she looks shockingly fine. I sound tired. God. It's a case right now, just like, when am I gonna have the time to write? Because I want to write, and I need to write for myself, so I can actually finish this thing eventually, that I've been writing for the past, like, 3-ish years. But I need motivation, and I need to, like, just be able to concentrate and do it at some points, so it's just like, okay, I'm gonna schedule myself then of writing. Yeah, I thought I renamed it, bloody, hold on. Can I edit it from here? Yep. I didn't, I mean, it's in the right, yeah. Okay. Here's a thing that does a thing that means a thing. Yeah, just change the title. God. Tried getting some sleep last night, but I ended up like having a really hard time actually sleeping at all. Okay. Her green hair is covering her mouth, but even without seeing it, I can tell she's smiling as she sleeps. It's such a curious and cute sight that I should be forgiven for almost jumping out of the cot when I hear her voice speak lightly. Following up, Miss Problem Child? I raised my body just high enough off the cot to see Tomo on the end of the room. Lifting myself higher like this, I noticed that the room is shockingly small. There's barely even a foot between my cot and Teki's, and Tomo herself is only a foot or two away from Teki's cot. Thinking the situation is almost an afterthought in my head that Igai is sleeping on Tomo's lap. Up like a caterpillar, she sleeps, lightly snoring as her head bobs up and down. Now able to sleep mist from my eyes to take all the information, and I wish I could do that, Miko. Oh my goodness gracious. My throat seizes up as I try to respond. The cough that ensues is light and airy, as if I'm not even present at all. I see the cup of water out of the corner of my eye and resting on a waist at a table in between me and Teki. I greedily take it into my hands and start chugging. It's not hot tea, but it's good enough. By the way, if you don't want to be here, Carrie, it's understandable. This is very much these streams are very niche, to put it lightly. There ain't much that's going to be happening during them other than me. Like, right, this first stream is more or less going to be dedicated entirely to me just reading out the chapter 5 of the story I'm writing, because it's been like a couple months since I last wrote, and I need to remember everything that was happening and what my feelings are. I do have like a lot, and I do mean a lot of notes about stuff like this. Like, let's see, how long again is my info tab for the info decks? Yeah, you feel the same when you're playing a JRPG that just dropped. Yeah, I'm not reading all of my stuff again because okay, to give an idea of how much of a writer comes to when I just start going, this thing, which is only 3 parts into the story, this chapter is is almost 26k words long. It's and I think one of the parts was like nearly 100k words. One of the chapters, I mean. So you know, it's a bit of something. Info, Zen words, no info, words other than, no info, timeline rough, no, not that one, info, rituals, info, cycle, held, info, fragments, discarded, equip, fails. Where is all my good stuff? Character, choice outline, there we go. I write like I play JRPGs very... Yeah, it's honestly, I'm not sure if it's a problem in my. I'm not sure if it's like a plus or a bane or a boon for my writing style right now. So, when I finish drinking the water, having emptied the cup in less than 10 seconds, I can give a good look at Tomo. Put simply, she looks bad. The clothes are thankfully not damaged, but her exhaustion is still clear. The bags I saw under her eyes before are even deeper today. Yes, liking to write does explain why you talk to the NPCs. It also would explain why I am very critical of some of the writing in Trails, is because I try to think about like the perspective of a writer, and I think about like what else would I have done, and most of the time it's like, wow, it should have been like, I could see it having been done better a different way, and things like that. Yeah, it's not high art. The bag that's on her eyes are deeper today. Her hood is up, but I can still see her black hair is frazzled so much it looks like she was hit by lightning. Even her posture is poor, looking like she's trying to mount in the chair she's sitting in. So, you just gonna stare at me? She asks. And though the question is one that begs for something to happen, the ghost doesn't speak like there's any rush. I have questions. So that's the understatement of the century, right? I slowly nod. She lightly sighs. Where? Sound like a good... No, that's fine. Like the storyline, where you play most of the games, experience the story. The Trails feels like a better series currently, where it's very good for just experiencing the stuff that happens. Like, how do I pose? It's a good experience. It's not necessarily always a great story. Individual elements for the story are going to be very meh, or just bad sometimes. Where? Sound like a good start? I nod again, and Tomo sighs. Sound, Tomo turns intangible, letting Igai gently drop onto the blanket the ghost had been sitting on. Igai rumbles around for a moment, but apparently Tomo was prepared. From below the chair, the ghost takes out a doll that looks suspiciously like Teki and puts it into Igai's wandering hands. Igai grabs on the doll like it's a lifeboat, squeezing with enough might that it looks like the doll is going to pop. Doesn't squeeze it hard for long, as but a moment passes before her entire body relaxes, she mumbles something I can't hear. I don't miss the sad look Tomo has when she hands Igai the doll, but I don't say anything. Something's obviously happened, and this isn't the time to ask irrelevant questions. By the way, in case you're curious, the stuff playing in the background right now is from the Cafe de Toho albums. It's really cool stuff. Oh yeah, you think it's hard to make a good story when there's interactivity, because some things have to happen so there's suspense and fun for the player. Fun thing about this story, Carrie, it's an interactive story. You may not get that impression when I'm looking at this, but yes. It's not... The interactions do happen, and that's a big part of the story, because a lot of it's been decided by like, mostly Clips, because Clips is the only person other than, Gray Slime who, left the server to focus on their schooling. Where like they like he makes comments and he's like, hey, here sometimes, and like during choices and stuff, it's a big thing. It's been he's enjoyed it, and he's made a lot, like the thumbnail art you saw actually is made by him. It's of the character Aho, which he really enjoys. Like, hold on, let me see if I can pull up just like an example of what he's done. Let's see. Yeah, this one's nice. Okay. Like, hey, have you heard of the Forum for Sufficient Velocity? It's a fiction writing for... I have! I am very nervous. Okay, hold on. Let me... I need to describe this. I also have another story in the same setting that I've started writing, and I want to... And I... Like, this general story is a very rough first draft. Undoubtedly. Very, very rough. And but like for the other story, I want to put it up on like a PlayStation Sufficient Velocity. It's a pro story, but I want to put it, or like Space Vows, I want to put it up and I want to show people, get like people's feedback there, and I want to make it the best I can. If you know anything about Touhou, that story focuses a lot more on Moko, because she's a very interesting character. I like, and there's another story that I've got some ideas for, focusing on Kogasa and this little fun stuff. Like, I already put this. The Kogasa story I was thinking about is a lot lower stakes than any of the other stories I've had on mind. Yeah. Your bias towards Sufficient Velocity, you suggest them. I would probably post on both, honestly. Never heard of Touhou. Okay, so Touhou. Oh boy, where do you even start with this? Touhou is a series of bullet hell games created by Zune. They take heavy inspiration from Eastern mythology and philosophy, and focuses normally on incidents or major changing events in a world called Gensokyo. It's very interesting. Has like a very good amount of lore. Amazing characters overall, and a lot of things I love. And Gensokyo in Touhou, the main series, is more or less a refuge for all the fantastical creatures and stuff, like yokai and what have you, for the world, because in Touhou, yokai rely on humans and they need to be feared and blah blah blah. In this story, post-fantasy, the idea was me going, okay, what happens if Gensokyo falls? What if that refuge is gone? And that's more, and like, then I'd like obviously do the question, like, how does that happen? What's the consequences? And so on and so forth. And at the start, part of the reason why I've got original characters here is because I was not very confident in my ability to faithfully write the characters from Touhou itself. Like, I felt like I wouldn't be able to do them justice. Nowadays, I feel like I'm actually more equipped, and I feel confident when I'm writing characters to like keep them mostly canon compliant. I don't like going far off in something impossible, or something just like fanon. So like yeah. For example, I can pull up a picture here for it. Actually, yeah, why not? Since someone's actually here to listen to me. The story currently is focusing around a couple different characters. So, first off, we've got, that's probably a bad one to use. Not that one, no. Where is the general? Okay, yeah, this is a decent one. Okay. So, this story focuses on the main character, who is who's a black-haired girl you see right here, called Miko. She is basically she's the last remnant of the main character's family line from the main games. The main character, Reimu Hakare, the main character from the Touhou series. She's a descendant of her, and she's lived a life in this like world post fantasy, and I do take that kind of seriously, because like in this world, for example, in this world, for example, a lot of people end up no one really believes in religion, or if you do, or like a lot of that stuff, or if you do, you're seen as like kind of being stupid. Because it's just like they're like, well, we've got explanations for everything, like, and they do have like almost like I think it's like grand unifying theory. We got a name. I had a name for it, and I can't remember off the top of my head. But basically, they've managed to find the answers to almost every scientific question they can, and that means that in this world that's been somewhat cultivated by a group that's just been introduced called the Newton's Cradle, humanity doesn't truly believe in anything fantastical anymore. They don't believe in general, they won't believe in ghosts, they won't believe in an afterlife, really, like, and stuff like people who still will look into it, but if you actually believe it, you're not seen as very smart or intelligent. And that does have a direct effect on all the fantastical stuff too, because in the way the Toho universe works, and the way I clarified for this story, yokai and all these fantastical things like ghosts and blah blah blah, their existence depends on humanity actually believing they exist. If all humans at all at once stopped believing that ghosts were ever a thing, ghosts would disappear entirely and would never exist anymore. Potentially, that's the way the universe functions. So like during the prime time, like when Gensokyo was still around, I would say, like in my story, it's like, oh, they're decently strong. They're in Gensokyo, they're really strong. Now without Gensokyo, most yokai are barely able to survive or barely able to even keep existing because most people don't believe they exist, and that's only part of what they need to keep existing. But yeah, Miko has a go right now of trying to find like a fix the world in a slightly, like bring back the fantasy to the world, or at least to the city she lives in. Now because this picture has her on it too, the other character you see here, this is Igai. She is a by the way, for Toho, yokai, which are like basically anything fantastical creature that is not human, most of the time look quite human. This character here is Igai, who is basically what has been adopted by Miko following some events in the story. And she's growing up right now. She's kind of like still in she's a very young yokai, like a big rarity in the world as is, and she is currently kind of like part of the story is kind of focusing on making sure Igai turns out kind of decently, because she is very malleable at the moment, and like what can happen with her in the future, and I've got a lot of ideas for like, okay, what do I want to happen with Igai? And like I look at all the possibilities, like what the readers may choose, and like, okay, there's a lot to go on. Yeah, she's adorable. I love her. Another character, which is actually, like, I'm introducing them out of order, but one of the first characters was, probably, where is she? Okay, we'll go with, this. This is Teki. She is actually the first, fantastical character, yokai, I mean, that, Miko actually met in the story. She is a fairy, which in the way that fairies work in Toho is actually slightly different from all the other stuff, because fairies are in this case an embodiment of nature, or an aspect of it. So like you can have a fairy of code, you can have a fairy of bugs, and so on and so forth. And they are actually a tiny bit separate. They're like separate from yokai. They don't rely on, they always exist. As long as their aspect of nature exists, they will exist too. It's just that human belief gives them a physical form as well. And without that belief, they just go back to being nothing but the aspect of nature. So yeah, that's how that works for them. But Teki is the fairy of the spoilers. Actually, still, yes, I'm like 200k words in, and spoilers. I need to either rein in my writing or write more. And she is, I see. So post fantasy refers to the realm of the world's gut. Do you, when you say gut like that, are you putting focus on the word, or are you standing it for something? But Teki is very much grand. Yeah. It's the world's grand you'd find theory. Like, hold on, I put a. Oh yeah, I need to find the line again. But there is. It's fine. There is a line I wrote quite a while back now that I'm actually really proud of, to like given when I was doing actually I think it's in this part that it's seen. Oh fuck yeah. So I guess let's see if I can just find it quickly and I'll return to this part, but is it here? No, wait, it was in the last chapter. So let me just quickly yes. No, wrong one. Okay. This one. Where is it? Chapter 4. There we go. You're looking up Touhou and there's 19 games in the series. Are you planning on streaming the one that's releasing in August? I might. I haven't played a Touhou game for a while, mostly because I've been busy with other stuff, but I would totally be up for it. Doing that. Okay. Let's see. It should be around here. Let's see. Where is it? Where is at? Here we go. Okay. Okay. That might be fun. Yeah. It's also a multiplayer game 19, which is gonna be cool. That's the first one since 9, so that's gonna be or it's a third one since 9. Anyway, here we go. They knew why they existed. They knew how they came to be. They knew what had and was to come. They knew where they were to go. They knew who they were. They knew when they would rule, and they would rule now. Their theory was no longer a theory. It was a fact of the world, an absolute, unbreakable truth. It gave proof to every question they gave. It proved that a dragon could not fly. And give people some context for my writing. Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of like the line here. It's like, I love that line, honestly, because it's coming from like basically the highest level being in Touhou, like actual Touhou. They're like the highest level being in Touhou official lore is called Tenryu, who is the dragon of the North Star, or no, or like the hunter of the sky rather. And they are the highest level being that is known in the story, where it is like in Touhou it's said that when Tenryu hunts the North Star, which is the face of Akala, which is apparently like I think it's a Buddhist god of the night or something of that sort. To put it simply, Tenryu is literally like a celestial level being that goes beyond a lot of other stuff and is a dragon. And humans have managed through their belief and something they've done in the story alone to effectively clip a dragon's wings by proving they couldn't fly. And like that's really cool to me. So, but yeah, Teki, that's right. Teki is a bundle of joy. She also has my memory. That's probably the best way to describe her for anyone who used my show streams. But she is very much she has actual incredibly bad memory problems and keeps a notebook on her. Does she self-insert? No, not at the time, at least. Frankly, every character in Post Fantasy is actually just taking an aspect of what my own self is most of the time and expounding upon that and other such things. But yeah, she keeps a notebook on her that she has kept for a long time to remind her of things. Like even just basic manners is something she needs to remember. So she has the notebook. Oh, no, 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 not my memories. No, she has my ability to not remember things at all. I caught an ability, but it's more a curse. And she is always trying to do best. She's very, I like her just having, I wrote her partially for, partially to have a character who can push Miko out of her boundaries. I was like, okay, I had a couple characters written, and I was like, okay, we're getting okay, so it looks like the fairy's gonna be the one that meets Miko first. Okay, let's see, what personality do I have outlined for her? Kind of excited and stuff. Okay, let's go into our details then, and I went from there. Let's see, who next? Explain this girl. This is Aho. She is the smug dragon girl, to put it simply. Or you might know her by the other name that Clips occasionally posts into the into the live streams. The one who's saying "fuck off." She is very brash, and she's got a good heart on her, but like she mostly puts that for everyone who isn't Miko. She really just puts on a very oh, hold on a second. Sorry, but yeah, she's, if there's one thing I really regret about the story, and there's a lot of things I regret about the current draft of the story, it's that, like, she started off being incredibly fucking aggressive to Miko, and like, a big thing, like, that Clips liked about her, and I like too, is, there was a moment in one of the after, like, very early on after meeting Aho, where, well, that's why it's the first draft, indeed, where Miko upset a lot of the people a lot of the characters she had met so far, but with the approach she took, and she went to apologize to everyone. Now, Aho more or less said, "Fucking don't apologize to me right afterwards. Don't go back on your words just because people are upset. Otherwise, you're not going to change anything. You got to keep by what you say." And don't retreat as soon as you meet any offense. And like that's a good way of I like that because she got upset at that, and yeah, that's the kind of character she is. She doesn't like it when someone retreats on themselves or tries to like pretend to be something they aren't, which is fucking hilarious. For her. Let's see, next up. Also, Clips loves her a lot. I have a lot of Aho art in this shit. A lot. Let's go with yeah, this. Sure, we'll do her next. This is Kioi. She is. Did you draw it? No, this is all Clips VH's art. Clips VH draws a lot. If you want to see my art, let me just pull up one of my fucking things. Hold on a second. I can show this because it's... No, that. No. I think I labeled them. Here's my art. I am very much not an artist, as you can probably tell. Anyway, back to Kioi. Kioi is technically the first character that, other than Miko, that the reader meets in the story. Though for a very long time, she is just a disembodied voice, and originally that was what I was planning on her being, more or less just an exposition machine stuff. With some purposes, but I ended up, a big thing that I ended up doing was deciding that I actually wanted her to be a lot more involved in the story, and I gave her a lot. Like, I ended up giving her very much a personality which could be described simply as bitch. She has one goal in mind for herself, and she really does not care about all the drama and other such things that everyone else is going through and all the other problems. She just wants to get to a certain point already and she has waited a long time for certain things to happen, and it's just she's a bit of a bitch. Honestly, one of the characters I find very fun to write because she is. I would say like she is definitely. I definitely write her to be deliberately hard to like. I don't want her to be impossible to understand, but if there is, I feel no shame if anyone hates her. I really don't. So this is honestly one of my favorite designs. Slime is. I hope Slime Gaming will max to the Discord server eventually because I like their art and they're cool. Like let me show you. Yeah, this is like you might have seen Slime in the chat, Gray Slime in the chat before. They've also read the story and they've also drawn some art. Like this is some of their fan art of Aho, and it's like, yeah, I generally like their arts. It's got, from what I can see of the channel right now, they've gotten better, but yeah, they're cool artists. Let's see, where is? That's right. Okay. Well, okay, so this is another piece of art. To describe some other stuff, this character isn't as important right now, but she's been involved quite a bit in one chapter. This is still Miko, and also her only friend, though Miko would never say that because she doesn't see it as a friendship, more or less, Medi. Or, this is a big reference, and I don't want to go on to it, but she's a spiritual descendant, like, and I don't mean that in a literal sense, of another yokai from way back when. Friendship or friendship? It's a friendship where insofar as Medi definitely considers Miko to be a friend, Miko considers Medi to be something that isn't quite a friend, but doesn't really feel like... Miko has her problem. She has a hard time really feeling like she has friends, even if she almost by definition does. But it's a very much a relationship where they're not a couple. Yeah, no, they're not a couple. They're not a couple. There are no couples currently in the story. I don't even know if I'm gonna have if there is gonna be like an actual official couples in this for Miko. It is literally just going to be it's gonna be decided by the readers more or less. That's how I feel it. But Medi is a artificial human for the most part. She is very strange in that way, where her body is a doll body. Like you can't quite see it underneath the clothes and everything, but she has like doll joints. There's like exposed lines under her body that you can see like mechanical bits underneath and things like that. She has human bits and bobs because her parents tried to save her life because she was stillborn, which for in this universe is a very big problem currently, where most children are born still. And I can say this in another story in one of the omakes I wrote quite like in the beginning, and I've had this idea for a long time since the start. A general issue is that usually human souls, when they in the Toho universe, they get reincarnated after their death and are put back into the world. But a general problem that happens when a person, I would say, that doesn't believe in the afterlife or anything of that sort, doesn't go to the afterlife and ceases to exist after their death. And that causes some problems because there are less souls in the universe, in the world, and that means there's less. When a person is born, there might not be a soul for them, so they just are born. They're stillborn. Medi was stillborn, and it's only by a miracle of both technology and fantasy that she was able to actually was revived. She is mostly kept a secret by her family because of that. Because if the general world found out there was a way to found out she existed, she would be like taken away and studied more or less to try and figure out how the fuck do we stop this pandemic. Does she not have a soul then? She might not have a human soul. She certainly has a soul. It's just arguable if it's actually a human's soul. Because as revealed in another omake, her family originates from a human who met a doll yokai long in the past in Gensokyo, and who kind of grew to be friends with this doll yokai who was actually aggressive against everyone who was human. She didn't realize he was human at the time because even in canon, this character is very dumb. She didn't realize that, like, because the boy was like had a missing limb and had a prosthetic arm, that didn't mean that he was that he was a doll too. And so she took him under her wings and they became like friends. And when she died, he took up a kind of mantle to keep all these objects safe, all these things that were tossed and forgotten, and take care of them, because he knew that like they could be alive, they had their own spirits could develop, and that it was best to take care of them because that's what would be wanted by her. And the body that Medi inhabits is basically that. It is that yokai's body, highly modified over the years, very, very modified over the many years, and taken care of by that family. That's actually the story that Eclipse, that omake that I talked about there, though, is like actually the one that Eclipse himself says like is one of the most emotionally impactful for him. I will admit, sometimes I do end up crying when I'm writing these stories because I have I get very invested. Okay, and this is a character who has just been introduced for this chapter. This is Aju, who is the reincarnation of a reincarnating character from Gensokyo, except who usually reincarnates as a human, but due to the fuckery with souls, has reincarnated as a yokai this time. She's just been met. She's being met in this chapter, and I'm current. I remember that, and I need to. And like, she's the last of the main characters I'm kind of introducing to the plot for the ensemble. And after that, we're going to be getting into like the more general. There's also a reason why Newton's Credo, who I currently have set up to be the main enemy, is finally getting introduced as well. It's okay to cry. There's many parts of shows that you cry. Yeah, I have written some of the short stories and some of the main story into while I'm crying, because it's just like, oh, my heart and soul is being ripped out by this shite. Some of it's very emotionally impactful for me. Let's see. Do I have any? Do I have any? Oh, also to summarize, just yeah, that makes sense. To summarize in an image, Miko and Teki's relationship. This is a good way of putting it. That's a cute pic. It is. It's really nice. Like, even my Discord image is actually this, and it's something that Eclipse made for, when he was doing just a fan idea for a certain scene that doesn't exist in story. And this is just a sweet image of Miko and her mom and dad when she was younger. They're both dead, as you can imagine. It's a big part of her character, actually, and I feel really sad about writing it most of the time, but like how it's happened. No ideas for it. Oh yes, and the author's dumb part. Parents have to die before the adventure begins. If you fun little thing, I got fucking Aho's name wrong. Like this is this clip's making fun of that with art. Where I was trying to give a certain meaning to her name, and I ended up fucking it up. And this is just him commentating on that. Is there anything other art to show before I actually get back to reading, or? No, not that one. Yeah, sure, this. This is a very specific character for the other story. She's Aiko. Sorry for derailing, but that was interesting. Thank you. No, it's fine. It's fine. I feel happy if, like, during this first part, when anyone ever comes back to it, they can watch and get some understanding of what's going on. But this is kind of like the last character for now. This is Aiko, who's my most recent written character for what is currently under the working title of The Archivist and the Immortal Flame. Focusing on her and Moko, an immortal character who, for a long time, I was arguing with myself during the story of, like, there's 3 immortal characters in total, like, truly immortal. So I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with them, because they weren't entirely fantastical beings. And that story's all about that, and, like, the things moving on, the results of what happened to some people. It's fun. Her story, like, she's probably, I think she's the oldest human character I've introduced so far. That is not dead. I think Eclipse really helped capture what I was going for in this picture. I think it works really well. Why is this humongous? And now we're just gonna have this in the little corner because it's a nice little image. That's Igai tasting, what is it? Hot tea? Yes, hot tea. Okay. Here we go. I don't miss the sad look Tomo has when she hands the guy the doll, but I don't say anything. Something has obviously happened. This isn't the time to ask irrelevant questions. When the ghost turns to look at me, the sadness isn't there. No, wait, that's not right. It's still there, but something about it is different now. I, as quietly as I can, bring my body up and sit cross-legged on the cot. So she should really be the one to say this. Tomo looks at Teki, still sleeping peacefully. I don't scream or do anything when I tell you this, but what the heck is this ridiculous tension in the air? I just feel like Tomo was about to tell me that we're in a secret government bunker that we're going to be dissected soon. We're in the shed. Wait, what? The shed you had Teki saying. That's the place we're in. Yeah, I'm sure that my blinks should be heard as I stare at Tomo. There's a punchline to this, right? Right? This really and frankly insanely nice little room that I'm looking around that can fit 2 cots, has what looks like a stove in one of the walls, cabinets, and even a hanging shelf is not a shed. It's a cheap apartment room, right? You're lying. And was that me just talking right now? Couldn't be. Sounds too shocked and amazed for this early in the morning. You even started sounding really high pitched at the end there. Miko, please don't scream. This is really the shed you'd let Teki stay in. Tomo tilts her head slightly, a lazy grin slowly forming onto her. I didn't show fucking Tomo. Damn it, hold on a second. I didn't show a picture of Tomo. God damn it. Out of all the characters, I knew I was forgetting a character to show here. Where is a picture of Tomo? Do I have one that isn't with all other characters? No. Okay. Okay, here we go. So the girl with the mangy black hair that you see here with the cat-eared hoodie, that's Tomo. That's Tomo over there. She is a ghost that is probably the most experienced in the world. Yeah, no, this image is wonderful. Miko does not like hugs. She's a very much a person who gets uncomfortable when people go in for the hugs, which is why you see her just frozen here like, oh god. But Tomo is a ghost who is like probably the longest lived yokai who came to be in this post-fantasy world. And she has some interests in Miko and a lot of things that have happened, and she's enjoying, and like she's become like kind of one of a mentor figure or someone who can help give perspective to Miko and everyone else on the world that no one else has currently. She got a bit involved at the end of last chapter due to shenanigans, though she's been involved quite often anyway. This is really the shed you let Teki stay in. Yes, by the way, Teki, early on, Miko let Teki stay in the shed, and hilariously, revealed to the readers much long before it happened with Miko, Teki is actually able to use fantasy as like almost a resource, and the belief in it as like a resource to create objects and change things. She never brought this up to anyone until asked, because she kind of just assumed it was something other people could do. Yeah. So Miko has been feeling really bad about having Teki be living in what she thought was a little shed with a cot. And now she's realizing that Teki made it into a fucking nice little room for herself. A bit. The thing above the air that comes out of me couldn't even be called a laugh. Now it's the remnants of my sanity leaving my soul as I keep looking at the gorgeous room. Looks like it was built this morning. Heck, I think I can even smell some lingering spices in the air. Oh, hello, Clips. You got here after all the explanation about the story. What have you missed? I'm rereading because I don't remember everything that happened for chapter 5, and I want to make sure I remember. So this is very much a catch-up stream, and maybe the next one too, but you know, I need to know what happened so I can write better again. But yes, Carrie has gotten info dumped about the entire post fantasy and a lot of Toho stuff too. Heck, don't let sound more genuine laugh. Yeah, but turns out she's very adept at using fantasy. Oh shit, cursing isn't really my nature usually, but such blatant lie is really annoying to hear. And somewhat worrying. This is some empty party dragged us to after getting me blackout drunk or something, right? Or maybe the virtual reality place, and this is actually here. This isn't really the shed. It can't be. My attention is so taken looking around the room that I didn't notice when Tomo floats near. I don't realize she's done as such when I'm bonked on the head. Ow! I exclaim more so on reflex than because I'm in any actual pain. What was that for? Tomo looks rather amused when she says, because you're acting like I'm a liar. Because you really don't have time for you to be dragged like a teenager on the internet. I really want to ask more about this place for many reasons. Like why Teki never told me what she did with the shed. Why a guy who had visited the shed and told me what it was like. More importantly, why the heck Teki hadn't done something similar to the shrine, or at least offered to do so. The kitchen was nice, but it always could be better. Those questions more like them try to escape from my mind and make themselves known to others. However, through an inordinate amount of restraint, I managed to say something more reasonable. We don't have the time? Come on, what's going on? The concern when I ask her could be scooped up and used as a truth serum. No one doesn't answer the right way. Sees them now. See that one Drawtober's drawing on stream? Your face went. She lets a good few seconds go by, and her face quickly shifting between multiple motions before settling into mask. But though she tries to keep any emotion from being seen, I still feel that different sadness in her eyes. What's going on here? What do you remember from last night? The question is delivered calmly, with the same authority as an interrogator. There's something wrong. Something went wrong. And Teki and I looked like we were put through the ringer. We were attacked, I asked? I think I don't actually remember much of last night after we ate. It's all a bit of a blur. It makes you feel better. You think it's a cute picture. Well, what do you remember? I sat up singing for a second, absolutely noting I don't have my glasses on. I don't know where they are either. We talked about I tensed up slightly to start to better recall the conversation. No, I was talking to Igai. Kind of remember when she left, she said something and then it all just fades away. Wait, no, there was something more, right? I clutched my head as I tried to recall because there was something else. I went to the sea? Yeah, and I talked to Hyo about traumatic past. Don't worry, that's memes of my story. It's fine. You can ignore it for now. Something. I don't remember what. Light coming in from the windows lets me see every single bit of dust in the air where the beam is. I can always imagine the dust is billions of stars in the sky. I'm sorry, but that's all I can remember. I apologize to Tomo. Tomo lets out a heavy sigh of relief. Her entire body lets go even further. I thought she was trying to mount to her sea before. Now she'll try and become one with the earth. Okay, that's better than I expected. Tomo says, gently rubbling her forehead as she speaks. After last night, I was worried about you getting complete amnesia like a bad horror movie or something. I feel like I'm forgetting to mention something. Oh yeah, and I met a dragon, I calmly add. Apparently she's literally the size of a constellation. I'm tasked with healing her. In an instant, Tomo takes an knee, looking like she's just been punched in the gut. I don't really blame her being surprised at the new news. I raise an eyebrow just how much she's expelling. I don't think that would normally be possible for a human to do. Another freaking dragon, another one? I in my head, slowly, for emphasis. I shouldn't smile when I do so, but I can't help but be a little happy that someone else is reacting with the appropriate amount of shock to these sorts of things. That's just dandy. Ghost is out, only quieting down when Teki moves around in her sleep. Standing up, Tomo takes a deep breath. She looks like she wants to drag me out of the room. I'll scream about that later, though. Okay. Remember earlier in the story, Amiga was still beating herself up over making Teki live in the shed and saying something like, man, what's she gonna think when she finds out what Teki did with the thing? Yeah. Another deep breath. Ghost. She doesn't have to do that. Ghost is an ability Miko has. Don't worry, it's memes for the story, as Clip supported. Is someone just psyching herself up for the big reveal? Because honestly, at this point, the atmosphere is just all wrong for any kind of dramatic behavior. That's just dandy. Oh, Dipley's there. Hey guys, can you tell that I wrote this before I knew anything about trails? No? Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell because it looks like I did it, like I've written this while I have gone over the entire Trails wiki back to front. So last night, something happened to you. Neither me, Aho, or Teki or little Igai knows what happened. She rubs her neck. So honestly, hoping you'd be able to provide that info. I can say for a fact that something happened, because you were way so quiet after leaning to hear her next few words. You're crazy. Totally crazy. What? That isn't exactly a clear answer, Tomo. Look, you... Tomo clenches one of her arms solidly. Actually, I don't think she's been using that one much since I woke up. Thought there was an attack, right? Well, there was, and you were the one attacking. Tomo's words end with a rush. The entire world seemed to slow down. I can see it. Mine, I can see them. Vague feelings I was having throughout our conversation become just a little more solid. How do I spell intermersed? Well, I'm not seeing a suggestion. You are trying to speak the language of the gods. We cannot allow you to speak this language. Please come back later. Flash of pure darkness interspersed with bright and colorful damaku, shouts and screams. It needs to be silent. I need to hear nothing. My breathing was shallow. I wasn't thinking on not hearing. I screamed. I was screaming. I didn't stop screaming. I shake my head. Emotion is too calm and simple for the maelstrom of fear and terror running through me. My voice trembles as I speak. My eyes glaze over as I make the connections. The damage to Teki's clothing, Tomo's exhaustion. God, did I do anything to Igai? Miko, I don't move when Tomo grabs my hands. Miko, look at me. Look at me, Miko. I'm trying, Tomo. I'm trying, but all I see is darkness. I can't remember what happened. Why does it hurt to think about it? Miko, it's fine. Things happen. Wait until later when Bobo talks about the content of Therebunia and you pretending to sleep. Clips still can't see Aho as Agate, who's milling out, happening to load too fast, which is gonna be fixed in the rewrites eventually. Her voice is so calm. How can she be so calm? Everyone's okay. Everything is going to be fine, so please, Migo. Her eyes are so blue. Listen to me. Everything is all right. When I look into her eyes, I feel lost. They aren't special. They aren't unique. They aren't something I haven't seen before. I still feel lost, because there's none of the hate or fear or despair I would expect. I hurt her, so she shouldn't look like this. We didn't have the Maku duel. We fought. And I can't remember fighting. She shouldn't look so calm and collected, yet she does. Someone wasn't even here yesterday, so she must have used her ability to get here so fast. But then she went ahead to take care of everyone after whatever harm I did? It isn't easy. It isn't easy. That's putting it lightly, but my thoughts are too scattered right now to put it any other way. How it feels to start to focus, to let the darkness leave, to view the world as it is right now isn't easy. That doesn't mean I can't hide away. Apparently I'm a healer. A healer shouldn't be the one coming to others with problems. I take over here. Seti? You say my voice? Okay. I'm not, but I have to at least hold together enough to pretend I am. Someone gives what could barely be called a smile, she lets go of me. It was wrong to see the ghost be so tense and scared. I don't speak up about it, at least not now. Not right now. Good, that's good. She says like she's just finished defusing a bomb. Last chapter puts into good idea why that's a bomb. Hold on, hold on. Don't I have viewers can download? This girl Aho, your only regret about that drawing on screen is that it was done before Aho showed up in the story, so she's unfortunately not even in it. Hold on a second. Let's turn off the showing that for a second so I can just safely share. Yes. Oh, wrong one. No, not that one. It's the story one. Okay. Copy link. Okay. If anyone's interested in reading the story, there's that to go. That's a link to the story stuff. Now, what exactly happened is still weird, and I'll fill in a lot of the details, but it's for a good while. Oh, after the initial news hits, I left to listen to exactly what happened while I was out. It's certainly horrifying, strange, and near equal measure. I know for a fact that I don't have nearly that good of control of darkness, which is an ability she has thanks to a yin-yang orb. It's fine. There's a lot going on. It's fine. Now I move just sounds wrong. The vague memories do pop up occasionally, and I have to suppress every instant in my body curl, but I do manage to hear what happened. My first thought of matter beyond the harm I cause everyone is painfully selfish, though. I'm sorry, but how damaged is the shrine? I barely just managed to keep myself from shrieking. Look, it's not that bad. Not bad at all, really. Don't look me in the eye when you say that, because it sounds like the main room is just a gust of wind away from collapsing. Okay, so maybe it's a tad bad. I'm quite ready to blow up at home, but frustrating enough, Teki and Ink Eye are still asleep. Screw it. Getting out my moves quickly and quiet as I can in the shed and grap. Yes, I grap. Oh, come on, me. Tumble by the sleeve. I ignore her quiet protest and drag the two of us outside the place so we can speak at a reasonable volume. Yeah! Tumble yelps as she manages to get out of my grasp. You gotta be so rough, girl. If you want to go outside and see the mess, you could have just said so. Hey, I turn on the spot-faced ghost. The weather outside is unsurprisingly chilly for this early in the morning. You know how hard it is to not yell about literally anything I was told while we were there? The one who Ah, beware, beware, the grap comes to us all. Apparently it's a protein gene. I really didn't want to talk outside instead of Teki's warm and cozy love shack. How do you know about that? I say to make sure scream and hiss. I realize my mistake immediately when Tomo looks confused instead of amused. What the hell, don't ask. Silence thankfully prevails for a few moments as Tomo looked incredulously at me, seeming to debate if it was worth pursuing the topic for lightly shaking her head. Oh, that was a funny. I feel like that's almost funny. I feel like that's funny without and with context too. Maybe it isn't. Carrie can probably say or not. Fine, Tomo dismisses you, Sir Anne. Can't be that interesting. Sighing relief at having avoided that awkward conversation, I hastily turn around. I was really worried that I'd just see the entire shrine in ruins or maybe some smoke rising or something like that. Instead, all I see is the back of the shrine looking perfectly fine. So, even with all that Damaku, the shrine isn't totally destroyed? Asked Tomo without looking. Considering what I've seen of Damaku in both reality and memories, I was kind of expecting some more serious damage to be present. Tomo chuckles. Come on, Damaku may look real bad, but it ain't gonna break much if you're not an idiot putting way too much into each shot. I nod. That makes some sense, I guess. Really, no one told me before, but I guess since I wasn't breaking the ground apart with each shot before, they just assumed I already knew. Me and Tomo slowly walk toward the front of the shrine in silence. In the pit of my stomach, a growing apprehension rears up along with a vague recollection of the darkness. I hold out hope that it isn't that bad, and whatever happened to the shrine is something I can fix. That pit becomes bottomless when I finally get close enough to the front of the shrine to see the damage. Oh my god, I gasped, recalling the sight. I did this? Tomo's telling didn't do this mess justice. The front of the shrine looks like a car had crashed through it at top speeds. The shoji screen has so many holes in them I could probably have a building fit through each one of them. Every bit of wood I could see had cracks in them that made me worry the roof would cave in at any moment. Yep. Tomo walks up from behind me to be at my side. I have no idea how it's still standing, honestly. You, me, and I all fought so rough that it's a miracle. She sighs as she continues to float towards the entrance. Heck, maybe this place's God is still looking over it somewhat. I stand still for a second as Tomo continues moving forward until she enters the shrine and can no longer see her. My feet feel grounded, like there are stones tied to them. I don't want to see anything inside. I want to see the place that my family built over the years in shambles. I need to fix this. I need to take responsibility. So I drag the weights and walk onwards. It's a mess. More accurate, a disaster. Cracks everywhere, wood creaking, Kutatsu in ruins, too many holes, and just more and more I notice as I look around. Damn it, I hiss. I wish I could say that I couldn't have possibly caused as much of a mess as what I'm seeing, but I know that isn't true. Even without clearly remembering what happened, I was certain from both what Tomo told me and that gut feeling that I caused this. If I remember right, the situation is pretty different between the end of Chapter 4 and the start of Chapter 5, and the story just never explains it, Miko doesn't know about it, so she never questions it. I think you're right somewhat. I can't remember. Reason I'm rereading Flips is that precisely to remember these details. Even though Marion tells us, how the heck am I supposed to fix this? There's no way that Zen's Council is going to give me enough money to fix this. Dad barely managed to convince them to pay us as much as they do. Tomo, bless her soul, is doing more than I am right now. She's going around the room using magic to pick up the debris and shove it into the corners of the room. You get paid? What for? Can't imagine anyone would pay for the services of a shrine maid in this city. Tomo asks, looking at me with a grin. I don't know the details, but for some reason the Hakurei name is so important to Zen. I never got told the specifics, but Dad said Nomi was like a debt. I only did stuff for Zen before it was Zen, and that means they owe us. Can't remember the big fight in the shrine happened and Miko got knocked out before meeting the new dragon. At the beginning of this, there is some explanation, and I guess I might have left too much implied, not enough explained. Or I tried to imply too much, and I didn't, and that didn't come across because I was trying to put too much under a single umbrella. Tomo stops her work to stare at me looking confused. What kind of debt could an entire city owe your family that makes them give you money and stuff even now? I just shrug my shoulders, looking around to see if anything could be salvaged from the mess. I really like that Kutatsu too. Why is it capitalized? It is not a being of supreme power. Hi, welcome to the famed writing stream, where I'm reading, because everyone was trying to figure out what to do with her, and I always seemed to imply that she could get help from Medi and family, but then that didn't happen. We got Lord learning here instead. I see. Yeah, I think I remember that now. I gotta fix a lot of things. My frayed Shrineman outfit threatens to slip off with a gesture, and I have to quickly grab it. Don't know. Before I met Kyohi, I didn't really think there was a way to know. I start walking towards my room. Only I could come to a writing stream and end up reading. Why do you put the painful truth like that on me? I start walking towards my room. The damage to the shrine doesn't seem to extend past the main room, so the clothes and other stuff in my room should still be fine. Yeah, I can't imagine any of the ages in the city would be willing to talk to you about it. I blink twice when I see a green phantom broom appear in Tomo's hand, and she starts to sweep the floor. Not like they'd probably know either, dumb as they are. She paused for a second. Not that they're all dumb, but just most of them. Maybe. I wonder what that pause was about. We're gonna get changing something that isn't in shreds, I tell the ghost as I walk out of the room. Sometimes the obvious has to be stated. Oh no. Once I get into my room, I take off my clothes. Well, it's more like they fall apart as I try to get them off. Dang it, I don't have a lot of extras. I had to spend a good few months making them in preparation for me, and I've got no idea where I'd find someone to repair the things. Thinking about it, I fought both Aho and Tomo last night. Nothing about what I heard makes it sound like I'd come out anything less than a mess from it. When I examine my body, I feel a slight surprise. I see scratches, some dry blood, maybe even a cut that's still bleeding. But there's nothing. I stretch my eyes up as I turn my head and twist my body to get a better look at myself without a mirror. No matter where I look, I don't see anything wrong with me. I know that I'm at least a little hurt. I can feel that I'm not in top shape. But physically, there's nothing to back that up. Weird. Casual outfit, equipped. Takes a minute or two to put on a new Sorashi. They find another pair of clothes easily enough. I feel immense relief when I put on my hoodie and shorts, even as they change color to be blue and white. I spent an entire day moving Mount Zen, that's the city by the way, in my Shrine Maiden outfit. It feels nice to be in a more casual wear. Along with the change of clothes, I grab from the drawer that's against one of the walls another pair of glasses. Doesn't feel right to walk around without one on, though I should definitely ask Tomo where the other pair is at some point. I'm more than a little shocked when I exit my room and return to the main room of the shrine. Tomo was standing in the center, leaning on her Damaku broom, the entire place looking, well, not clean, but certainly better. All the debris that was around is now piled up in the corners, and though I don't feel comfortable being in the room with the wood pillows looking as they do, I'm so impressed. Could be worse. I could be rereading things from the very beginning with all the side stories / star doors. Do that on stream. It took you like 5 or 6 hours. And there's more stories now, Clips. Remember, there's a month worth of them. Wow, I didn't think you'd be so good at cleaning, Tomo. Come on, Tomo exaggeratedly draws out her words. Where do you go drawing a conclusion like that? I'm like prime mommy material. She does her entire body. You got the perfect body, you got the best attitude. I'm not I'm perfect. I don't know. Don't think being able to clean is a prerequisite to being a good mom. My mom couldn't even clean up the sink for the life of her. I look around, taking every piece of damage I can. You didn't exclude those, but yeah, that'd make it take longer. Every piece of damage I can see and try to calculate how much of this will all cost to fix. Also, where is Aho? This would have to take months of pay to fix, if not a year's worth. Well, you told me I kind of would have expected her to be in the shed as well. Good thing you start maintaining a Wiki story, eh? Ha, ha, ha. That was around the time my goddamn drive crashed and I lost all my information. I remember that because pain. Pain. Tomo looks around the room, her eyes sitting around the spiderweb pattern cracks in the back wall. My body tenses up in sympathies and imagine the pain Teki must have gone through. She was for a little while. Some point in the night she got all stiff though and went outside in a hurry. Said something was wrong and I need to check it out. So there's no wiki? No, there's a wiki. It's just that it's in my fucking second drive that I need to take out on occasion to goddamn sometime to update because everything sucks. Everything sucks. Everything sucks so very much. Wiki are for wikis. Yes, you should be like me who has... How many fucking notes do I have? 1, 2, 3. I have like 20 notes. So where is she now? My concern leaks through as I speak. I know she's super strong, but I don't like the idea of her rushing off to tackle something without help. Someone looks confusedly at me. I try not to squirm under her gaze. I realize how silly I sound. If something was dangerous enough that Ao couldn't take care of it, then it really wouldn't matter who else was there with her. Everyone would end up hurt or worse. Eh? Kiro's stupid, but she's not Zen stupid. She's been high up in the air the entire time. She's on the lookout for whoever got her acting like a warrior. Tomo laughs. You really didn't notice the dragon following you around from above like a broken waypoint? I shouldn't be embarrassed, but how the heck was I supposed to realize Ao was above me? I can't hide the blush that comes when I think of how idiotic it is that I didn't look up. Every one of them can fly, for goodness sake. Why didn't I think to look up? For something like this, a really good tool for keeping track of events and elements story, especially with the way Bob Bob's memory works. Hey Bob, what's your memory? When was I born again? Oh, Bob, but you were born like 5 days ago. Oh, thanks for the reminder. Tomo laughs even harder. It isn't that bad of a mistake, Miko. Come on. Tomo quickly floats over to me, wrapping her arm around my shoulders. Let's get out of the danger zone before the shrine collapses. I was definitely going to want to talk to you, at least. Feeling a bit too fast to be casual, Tomo and I exit the shrine and step outside. You can glance back at the shrine's main room. Worried about overtaking, but for instant. What if it collapses? How can I do anything to fix the place if that happens? It's also going to be unbelievably difficult as it is. Is Bob a homunculus? You have no proof that I am not one. I don't have proof that I'm not one. But I brush that aside. The shrine can be fixed. I don't know if Ao and everyone could be fixed. They are, logically and emotionally, more important. So I change to looking up at the sky. Not much time has passed, so the sun still isn't anywhere near its peak. Without any real glare from the sun, I can, with a lot of effort, spot the small dot of a person floating high above. Hey! I jump on the spot when Tomo suddenly yells, Shrine Maiden's up! So get down here already, you dolt! The dot shifts ever so minutely before quickly growing larger and larger as it approaches the ground. Could be worse, he could rely on a board. It's an interesting tool for setting up plot events, but knowing Bob Bobby will end up being a mess. Ah yes, my post-fantasy board. As you can see here, this is my board. Why is it as big as your house? There were some complications, okay? As it gets closer, I can better make out Aho's details. Feels like it takes a bit too long for me to finally be able to see her face, though. I should probably unequip the Yokai of Dusk when I'm not using it if I don't want to buy real glasses. Oh, despite the speed at which she descended, is graceful when she lands and quiet. She looks fine. The complication was that Boppo was fake. I should expect this behavior. Her clothes are perfectly intact, she has no bruises I can see, and she doesn't even look slightly tired, unlike Tomo. The only thing off is how serious Ao looks. There isn't even a trace of happiness or joy that I can see. Is she upset at me? Did Tomo downplay what happened actually, and I did something even worse? Is that why Aho looks upset? No. I shake my head ever so slightly. I'm just being paranoid. I'd seen Aho be upset. At least I think so. She was really angry with me. I'm sure that I wouldn't be standing here right now. Yeah, I didn't need to scream. I'm glad Aho was the first one to talk. She sounds calm, not angry. And got listening problems, unlike you. Tomo puts her hand up like she's surrendering. Hands up, hands up, hands up, hands up, not hand. Though she looks unamused instead of scared. Hey, don't get your fire panties in a twist. Tomo grins like she just thought of the best joke ever. Quickly, that grin fades away. Just thought you should get an update. Oh, looks at me quickly for returning her gaze to Tomo. Fuck, quickly. I've used the word quickly way too many times for my liking. Me goes up. I ain't seen the kid or take it with you. They're so asleep. What the hell is there to talk about? Are you okay, Ao? I chime. Worry about the tense atmosphere that's quickly developing? Tomo told me what happened. Thanks for not hurting me. I show off at the end, unsure if it's really something I should be grateful towards. It would have been better for everyone else if it was taken out quickly. Tomo. It's fine. It's Tomo saying it. It's Tomo. It's fine. I use the words though a ton too. Yeah, honestly, there's a lot. I need a big thing for this on a second look over is I need to expand my vocabulary. Because, like, there's a meme and all this stuff out, like, people using, like, writers using words just because they can and stuff. But honestly, it can get really distracting in work if a word is repeated a ton of times, because people can notice and it can take you out, honestly. Yeah. Al stares at me like growing a second head. She opens her mouth once, closes it, then repeats the action a few times. I remember the time when Medi was undergoing maintenance and she kept doing the same thing. Doubt Aho is part machine though, so that's probably not the reason for this. I wouldn't hurt you. Okay. Expecting those to be the words that would come out. And others Aho seems to have accepted them as her eyes widen for a fraction of a second. I'm supposed to be looking after you, you know? How would I do that? Not my head. I should have realized. Yeah, I should have realized that. How much Aho puts on keeping her promises, must have been a bit of insulting to even imply she would hurt me. That why you freaked out last night? Tomo draws both our attention to herself. The way you act, I was thinking we were going to be attacked by the entire city. Never a thing last night other than Techie snoring. Aho lets out a puff of annoyance. And fire. Fire directly from her mouth. I am extra grateful for something that Aho didn't go all out on me. The trying is mostly wood. I can't imagine to have survived that fight. You think it feels like a now, Red? That's something. What leopard growl flashbacks? Don't worry, just Warhammer 40k memes. Okay. I didn't freak out, Ghost. It showed you green to notice, but I felt when this appeared. Reaching inside one of her pockets, Al pulls out an old-fashioned letter and shows me and Tomo the front of it. I'm already surprised to see that it's written in what looks like ink, but more shocking is I can read it. The word's about it, and Tomo looks at me, clearing disbelief as what I've just said. I mean, I can read things, of course, but I have trouble bringing a lot of the signs and stuff as Zen. Turn away from Tomo. I wanted to look at her while I explained this. Dang it. There's a necessity that Al and Igai learn about, but I'd like to at least have a couple of the secrets to myself. Turning Tomo into Trails chemically would be interesting. The serious steps than you think. Ah, yes, ask Cliff VH. He has an entire document that's all about turning this story into a video game that is just Trails. It's fine. It's already Trails flavored. The mechanics that exist in the story already are Trails flavored. I made an ornament by accident. Wait, you what? Don't look Sam sound like she's caught between laughing and crying. Yeah, news ain't important. Oh good, I'll just brushing things off so easily is making Tomo even more confused. Even though I, mostly, turned away from her, I can still tell that Tomo was looking at me like she was going to take me back to elementary school. I turned to face them, my efforts to suppress my blush absolutely failing. I can read out stuff fine, it's just Zen's language is weird and never makes enough sense. And you're going, well, but that isn't important right now. I hold my arms really on my sides as I look at the two. Let's call the Orban Magitech. Nah, it's a yin yang orb. Also, fuck that. That's totally what they wouldn't call it that in the city because magic doesn't exist in Zen because the magic doesn't exist. Fuckers. But yeah, the way the allotment point system works, literally you think Orbans when you finally understood how they worked and you had no idea until you finally played through it. Yeah, no, I have an allotment point system and it is just fucking ornaments and I described ornaments to Clips without knowing what the fuck ornaments were. Clearly isn't too concerned about this, far too concerned about things that are important. Tom with those acting like a dying fish who doesn't know what to do and is worried about very much not important things. Hurriedly, I grabbed the letter from Alice's hand without the dragging me putting up a modicum of resistance. Even with my blush, I managed to glare at Tomo as she continues to contemplate, actually talking about the very much not important thing. The blush fades away at an alarming rate as I read the first sentence of the letter. You won't kill me before I kill you, you lying maiden. Tomo, reading a letter right beside me, narrows her eyes. The text is harsh and rushed. Too much pressure applied and yet still written too quickly. Some parts are even crossed out like the writer didn't have the time to correct it. I glanced up at Aho. I let an unspoken question pass between us. Is this real? What's happening? Should we be worried? Aho gives the slightest gesture to keep reading, and lacking any reason not to do so, I continue reading. I continue. Wow, congrats. I get rid of that fucking second reading. Which is funny considering EP is a canonical unit of measurement. You're a problem. Gathering more of your freaks with you day after day and dragging normal people in too. I won't you ruin my... So I'm not letting you make the first move. Meet me at size. Don't, and I remove you freaks, and the entirety of your cursed land. Also, bro, just telling everyone with a fan trick of the fan trick, or you want to make post-Nancy and shows like... What? It's a good idea. It's cool. You're awesome. I'm gonna give you positive encouragement, like a god... Here's a hard to swallow pill. Clips, you're cool. You're awesome. You make good stuff. The letter in my hand crinkles up, and I'm left confused for a moment before I realize I'm gripping the flimsy thing so hard it's about to tear. Tomo's hand rests on my shoulder, steady and unmoving. I don't look at her, instead look at Aho. Doesn't look at me right away. Though. Remove. Hold on, we can figure this out. How many those are there in the story? 92, possibly. Jesus Christ. There's crossed out bits of this note. 792 took Sokka's note in Heaven's Seal. Look, it's fine. I haven't read it, played through the entirety yet. It's fine. Her red eyes are steady as she looks at Tomo. Get Teki. Make sure your guy doesn't wake up. His voice isn't harsh, even very commanding when she gives the order, but there's a certain quality to what she says. That this is what Tomo must do, and he goes without saying a thing. Do what must be done. The question form says, watch Tomo move quickly, but not rushing back to the shed. His answer as soon as it is thought as his voice whips my attention to her. The eyes of a mortal meets the eyes of the long-lived. There is an obscure platinum-made space opera JRPG on the DS, which story practically every space opera you can imagine into a single game. Oh! That sounds kind of fun, eh? It's too late even reading this story. Yeah, I grabbed clips and I'm surprised I did. And he's part of the reason why I'm actually happy to keep going, because he's giving me encouragement along with Slime. I have good reason to go now. We need to talk about them. Yuden's Cradle. Welcome to the event horizon. My density is unknown, and Lloyd is sitting next to me right now, as it turns out. If I have any... not in the way of girls, in the way of, hey, do you know this is a good idea? It's like, no. It's quaint seeing Teki flying alongside Tomo towards me and Aho without even looking a tiny bit worried. Despite my pestering to Aho to explain what the heck is going on, she's been completely silent for a while now. The way she said that phrase bothered me the entire time we were waiting, but not that we were waiting long. Yuden's Cradle. My time in Zen's education system was thankfully short, but at the moment I couldn't help but feel a bit annoyed that I hadn't learned more. How I knew about any Yuden's Cradle was that it was a way to demonstrate a law of science. The clanging of the balls as it went from one end to the other had always made my ears hurt, but something that's a little more than a toy couldn't possibly have made Aho and Tomo act like this, like it was the end of the world. Peggy waves excited at me, and I lazily wave back with none of the enthusiasm she has. Her attitude is so out of place at the moment among everyone else, I can't but wonder if she even remembers what happened last night. It helps if you like Toad, Trails, and Project Moon memes. Still better bonding events than Code Steel. Ooh. Thank you? Also, oh no. First, as Tomo and Teki closer I catch the tail end of whatever conversation they were having. First time along, so long, like it was scary, but it was also fun, Teki says, literally vibrating in the air with excitement. Maybe later, Tomo hesitantly responds. But it would be obvious to anyone but Teki that this is later isn't something Tomo wants to happen. This is more important though, Teki. At this point, the two are close enough that you can grab their clothes, which Teki's are in perfect condition because sure. And Teki opens her mouth to continue the conversation, but it's interrupted by Aho's voice coming through the air. Good. Tech, get out your notebook. Flip. I don't even look at Tech. You already aware that I'd see her notebook out and ready to be written in. Instead, I stare at Aho in confusion. Aho, please write everything I'm about to say about Yuden's Cradle that. Give all your notes and rules or whatever to make you remember this. The big problem with Code Steel bonding events is that they're ill-conceived. They're still done well. Okay. Aho doesn't even acknowledge my attempt to speak as she looked at Tomo, whose face simultaneously looked at her in understanding and confusion. You ever been hunted, Tomo? Shock quickly turns to acceptance as Tomo slowly nods her head. Though for me, the shock doesn't leave on my face. Tomo's been hunted? But what? Other yokai are humans? But how could that even happen? Humans don't believe yokai even exist. Why would anyone hunt something that doesn't exist? Tomo, are you? I started trying to ask what the heck happened to her, but I interrupted again by Aho. Damn it, Nidia must have recognized the threat from how you were acting reading the letter. If the bonding event in Tro's done better, they'd be more like social links and persona, expand on character development that happen in the story rather than introduce character development. Ah, I see. It's the Fire Emblem problem. Of, hey, here's some character development. Oh, that character development doesn't actually affect anything else outside of here. Aho's raincoat glows brighter as she speaks. Of course I did know the name. The dragon's eyes can dart to the ground, and what she says so quiet, it's obvious. No one's meant to hear it. Didn't know myself till now. Cruel reality, yokai strength. No instinct to outright rage. Not caring about the consequences, not even sparing a thought to what I mean after last night. I grab. Yes. Why am I like this? Why do I keep spelling grab as grap? I grab Aho's arm and pull it on hard enough while not moving her, having the dragon look me in the eyes. Aho, stop ignoring me and tell me what's going on. Though I raise my voice, I stop just short of outright yelling. I can tell that letter is likely serious. I can tell we need to take care of it. What I can't tell is why both you and Tomo look like soldiers readying yourself for war. Gas has to be in some of them after all. I'm actually thinking of Fire Emblem and Olivia. Oh my god, what the fuck? How am I forgetting her name? Fire Emblem Olivia. I'm thinking like Olivia, who has a lot of development or support conversations in Fire Emblem as a shy person, and stops being quite as shy, but in the main game, she's always going to be majorly, and in every other support conversation she starts up, she's going to be very shy. Or Bernadetta, who has the same problem. Desperation mixes with my anger as my grip on Aho's arm tightens more. So please tell me, what the hell was Newton's cradle? When I asked that question, Aho's eyes unfocused for a moment as she's staring at something far off into the distance. And though I can't see what she sees, I can still see the emotion that is just wrong for Aho. Fear. Don't worry, on this stream we stand hate. It's a very understandable emotion and probably one of the best ones for humans to feel. Yeah, totally. I don't know what it is that's making her afraid or why she would be, but that fear and far-off look don't last long. I'm sure that anyone with me looking directly in your eyes could have noticed. By the way, to put into perspective right now, Aho is the fucking strongest character that anyone has met in this setting so far, or that we've seen at all, who is alive currently. Because she's a dragon, and dragons in Toho stuff are hilariously fucking powerful. Again, Tenryu is the highest level being in the Toho mythology, in the Toho universe we know of, and he's a dragon. Dragons are the fucking strongest shit. And even with fantasy degraded and stuff, and her being weaker, Aho is still horrendously powerful compared to everyone else. You ever wondered, after meeting all of us, Aho makes a sweet gesture to envelop herself, Tomo, and Teki, whether there ain't more yokai and stuff walking about? Well, the kid would be so close to death when you met her. I thought it was because there's so much truth. It's the mechanics of the universe, and truth and fantasy is truth is humans. Truth is how the world operates according to human logic. Fantasy is the possibilities that exist outside of that can encompass everything that cannot be proven. That it hurts you guys and made it hard for any of you to even start existing. That's why it was a miracle Ikai didn't die. It ain't totally wrong. Aho taps her index finger against her head. But even with the things as screwed up as they are, people like us should have still been staying around. Not many, sure, but still around. She's right. I turned to Tomo, whose voice sounds like a pane of glass ready to break. I've talked to and met other yokai before. Not that many. Tomo posed up her hoodie, hiding her eyes. Before I met you lot, I'd met 32. I balked at that number. Just trying to imagine that many people like Tomo or Teki existing in Zen is hard. Then why haven't we met any of them? Cruel reality. I need to fix this shit. Though I asked, I already know the answer. I just don't want it to be true. It reminds you of that one fantasy setting meme, the two types of fantasy settings. The one where dragons are revered as wise, powerful creatures. The other where there are a menace to be hunted. Yeah, it like Touhou definitely leans onto the dragons are revered and powerful. Like one of the other strongest characters in the setting we've got right now, and a lot of characters have bullshit abilities that make them stupidly strong. To put it into perspective, one character's ability is to stop time for as long as they want to. They are not the strongest character in the setting. Like, one of the strongest characters that's been recently introduced in Touhou is a character who goes and hunts dragons. And, that is one of the strongest physical characters in the setting because they hunt dragons. Dragons are the highest level beings, normally. That's fucking insane. They died. Taiki's light voice shouldn't... They died! Taiki's light voice shouldn't be saying something so heavily so casually. Shouldn't look so calm, even slightly smiling saying that. Right? Honestly, just guessing, but turns out I already have some notes on Newton's Cradle. Apparently that's their standard procedure when they find us. I quickly look at both Aho and Tomo, but their faces are like stone masks, silently having seen too much before. The answer I didn't want, that I hadn't even thought of after hearing you guys tell what happened before she met me, was voiced by the near innocent curious fairy, the first one of fantasy she'd met face to face. Oh wait, is that a centipede girl or whatever? 18? Yeah. I believe it's the EX boss for I believe 18. But yeah, she's a character who is literally who fights dragons and I think like even eats them maybe. But like, yeah, no, fucking stupidly powerful physically speaking. Because I don't think she has any special ability, but just physically speaking, she's probably on some of the Oni level tiers of power. Maybe is even as strong as Yuji, which is saying something, because Yuji, if you recognize the name Yuji, it's from Japanese mythology. She's an Oni, very famous Oni in that stuff. So yeah, and she is ridiculously powerful in Touhou stuff. I have it written right here. Maybe Zunman bearded dragon. I don't. Fuck. The one that's spelled like that. I want to turn away when she shows me the page of her book. Once again, though for completely different reasons, I both admire and fear Taiki's drawing skills. Partially covering 2 pages is a picture of a sphere, a metal one. Inside of it are caricatures of every kind of fantastical creature I can think of. The bodies are as inhuman as they can be, each looking at a wild animal that actually wants to escape their cage. But they can't. You can see it. Yugi. On every one of the faces I can see the pain. The desperation as they suffocate and die within that metal sphere. As their bodies are crushed, the red of their blood is always visible now where I look. But there is one place in the picture free of the core. As right in the center is a bright burning star. The innocents near it are burned to a crisp, looking as if they had been left to burn in a fire for decades. And where no yokai or others being stayed alive near the blasted thing, I can see dozens of small figures. A little more than stick figures, they're so easily recognizable as humans. Am I gonna start talking about the heart of the cards? Ah, Yugi boy, of course! May I introduce you to the DS games, which are the best in the series for the 5D era. I have fan stuff about Yu-Gi-Oh! Yes. By the way, one of the things something I'm really happy with my ability to do most of the time is communicate an image in my writing. It's fun. I mean, there are trading cards in Touhou 18. The final boss is even DRM for those cards. Yes! I need to play Touhou 18 because I want to play my trading card game. Newton's Cradle, the organization dedicated to the extermination of all yokai, gods, and entities that do not conform to the standards of truth. You're not... Clips, you're not memeing at all. It's DRM. It's literally DRM. If you do not purchase from the correct distributors in Touhou 18, the cards do not fucking function. It is DRM. Taiki turns the notebook pages back to herself, the effect like ripping my eyes from their sockets as I cannot stop looking at that picture. Taiki herself looks only mildly upset. Sounds like they're really bad. None of the notes I have say a single nice thing about them. Alice's face turns from stone to flesh again. She relaxes, she looks at me. She relaxes, she looks at me, frozen as I am, in concern. The dragon walks up to me, neither slowly or quickly, and guides me to the nearby steps of the shrine. That's not DRM because there's nothing digital about it. QQQ. Oh, we're playing Toho clips. That's a digital game, so it's DRM. Once there, I sit down looking over the lake that the same dragon rolls from to help me. Even through the shock, I'm well aware that Tomo and Teki follow us to, shouting out something. Looking towards the lake, Ao's voice turns so she can make it, reaches my ear, she slowly speaks. Miko, I know there's a lot, especially after last night. Voice breaks when she mentioned the prior fight. I don't think me or Ina was trying to hide this. Of course not. I was scoffed at the assumption that I thought they were trying to hide this if I wasn't trying to wrap my head around this revelation. I the one add to a pile that shouldn't even exist. Winces like she's preparing herself to take a physical blow before she continues speaking. I didn't know much about their lot till today. I knew there were folks out here who knew about us and didn't like us. Us. I was probably talking to people like her, Tomo, and Teki. There was a way she said that. Seemed to mean that. I mean those, though. Why would I be included? Honestly, Teki's book probably has more about them than me. You feel Ao's eyes boring to me as she keeps going. At least for now. Sure, I'm certainly not fitting in with the truth now, so it makes sense that would be something these monsters wouldn't like. They were monsters, certainly worse than any of the ones I've met. That woman you met, whom Igai met, was probably one of them, wasn't she? Igai nearly died because of a human. Not because of the way the world works, but because a human wanted to kill her for existing. My thoughts moving rapidly and focusing on a conclusion I couldn't quite yet see when, unnoticed or ignored, Ao kept speaking. What Dex said about them? That more or less sums up their deal. I still feel the flickering of heat from my side. Trying to kill us because he ruined their truth just by living. No, it's hard to believe. It isn't. But why? But this info is coming from my ability. Same thing that helped you save the kid. It's a fantastical ability. Didn't need to follow reason on how it functions. The difference is, I'd seen it be... What the fuck? It was a fantastical ability. It didn't need to follow reason on how it functioned. The difference, as I'd seen it between people flying Zen and Ao flying, was that there wasn't a reason Ao could fly. She just could. The only surprising thing to hear was that Ao could use her ability on herself. So there's no doubt then. My voice is wavering. There's just a group of people out there who kill you guys because... What, you live? Yeah. The answer is too short. I want something more. More reason than something so sickeningly simplistic. Is this not how you supposed sickeningly? Saying it out loud, that's probably not how you supposed sickeningly. Yep, I'm missing an ing. Ah yes, sickening. I actually let out a pain laugh, and now his body locks as if she's getting ready to fight. They want to break the pendulum of fantasy and truth too. Great. The people who understand my go enough are a dragon whose body is made of little stars and maniacs who want to kill me and my friends. I don't need this great here then, if she's going to say it out loud. Great. I laugh again. Sounds more like crying. They're no different from basically anyone else in Zen. Hate me and my family for just being alive. That's the way that's the word they want. Tomo speaks from behind, if I'm paid to speak at all. I've seen them work. I've seen the influences that make everyone act like parts of a machine. They them hate us for being us. How long? It's coming in. A realization that I won't like and never should have learned. The pieces are lining up. The fact that the city I live in, the city of Zen, is controlled by them. Then all that happened to my family is since the start. The sound Teki's fluttering wings gets louder as she gets closer. Her voice is oddly dull. They mentioned just about the first page of my notebook. Not that they were called that, but it's real clear that jerks were me even back then. I stand up. If it wasn't for a ghost, I certainly would have fallen because of how fast it got up. I looked at the three besides me. All looked apprehensive, hanging on to everything I did. Worried that something was going to go wrong again. Sometimes when you always say something and you think, I mean, we don't know that though, and then you start to wonder if she's saying that to impose the narrative's conclusion to the reader's mind, or if it's just decent writing, you're jumping to assert things is just a character flaw. Sometimes I need to reread everything for do that, but there are definitely times where, like, I have written Miko in mind on occasion, with the fact that, like, she jumps to conclusions very often. Not necessarily impossible conclusions, but usually when she makes a jump to conclusion, it's not always going to be something that's like, yeah, that makes perfect sense. It's like, it's a gut feeling for her. She might be wrong, though. And like, that is something that I remember talking to Clips about occasionally when he brought up some parts when I was uploading this. Was like, no, yeah, that's on purpose. When he's like bringing up, hey, this goes against this thing. I'm like, yeah, that's on purpose. That's how it's supposed to be. I mean, to be fair, we know this from some of the stupider interactions she had with the rest of the cast. Tomoso not taking off her mask, refusing not even the smallest sign of what she's feeling show. Take a look across as she flipped through her notebook, rarely giving a glance at me. It's their fault then, isn't it? I don't know who I'm asking the question to. Is that mom and dad, Miko? It's their fault it happened, I screamed, stopping Aho in their tracks, both literally and metaphorically. It's their fault that I know blood is cold, that I know people stay warm for too long after the gun, that I lived alone, that the only person I cried to wasn't even supposed to be alive, that... Miko meeting Tomo for the first time was great. It was! Fucking... there's so much I gotta work on! First draft! Everyone, that is my, push-through words of this entire fucking thing is... First draft! Because otherwise, I would not have gotten past page 1. At some point, I closed my eyes. I thought it was my fault. I couldn't save them. And I thought it was a world shot. Now it's the fault of people I couldn't even put faces to. My eyes burst open as I... Oh, wait, slammed between another and one more. I was cheated on. It was an uncheated instinct that I used the umbrella that manifested my hand to open a portal directly from the shrine, saving me from tumbling down the steps towards the lake. Surprisingly, I don't land on my back, but the wind is still thoroughly knocked out of me, and my eyes wide open, so I can barely see. Just holding on, tight around me in a mix between an attack and a hug, Gizaho, head resting on my right shoulder. I can barely move my neck, so my only way to tell it's her is by the white hair resting partially on my face. The pain groan coming from behind me is light and squeaky. Heigi's arms around me and under Aho. I can hear her wings slowly moving in an attempt to get out of the awkward position. When I try to push myself off the two, and I find left arm is currently preoccupied being a stuffed toy of Tomo. She cling to it like if she lets go, she'll go flying and never stop until she leaves Earth. Her eyes are closed and I can feel that her body is tense like she's burying herself to be punched. In summary, I'm currently acting in place of a very large stuffed animal that all my friends are hugging. And it's not comfortable. Yeah, okay. No matter how long we say like this and I try to rack my brain on what to say, I'm coming up short. Though I open my mouth to say something. So yes, everyone gets to join me sounding like a patient who just exited a year-long coma. Wait, shoot, that kind of just happened. That's kind of what just happened, isn't it? Are you guys okay? That was obviously the wrong thing to ask. Holy shit, I can't believe that. Or, god damn it, Miko. Could be better. How about you? Fuck, I love this scene too. God damn it. I want to fucking rewrite this entire story to make these feel more normal and feel the general movement go better and stuff. I would rewrite this entire fucking story multiple times over. The picture on the stream became real. All three speak at the same time, though their voices are distinct enough from each other that I don't have trouble understanding what they're saying. I don't want to crawl into the shrine and die for causing trouble yet again, is all. Sorry, it's the only thing I can bump out. What else am I supposed to say? If everyone didn't attack me, I probably would have lost control again and hurt them. Unsurprisingly, everyone gets off of me rather quickly and messily. The flurry of limbs descending from one another leaves us all standing up a little worse for wear, looking at each other awkwardly. Or at least I am. Miko? Tomo looks at me clearly angry. All of us have good reason to be pissed at these guys, and if they hurt your family, then you got every reason to want to hurt them. Show them to your mouth to say something else before quickly snapping it shut. But I'm going too far, is that it? I grumbled, guessing an annoying statement was likely going to make. Nah, I'm impressed how casually Teki speaks after being on the bottom of a sandwich of people. Turns out that you're kind of scary when you're angry. I'm left wondering if she shows me the noble gift of reflex bothering me that I keep missing when she takes the thing out. Teki, that is a black circle, I totally point out. I was thinking a rather detailed image of Newton's cradle on both his point and relief that she's not showing a picture of me going crazy and eating babies or something. Barry looked at the picture and shrugged his shoulders. I remember what happened, but from what Tomo I mean, this seems outright, but it sounds like you're also really cool. Techie, it's not cool to hurt your friends. I balk at the excited sparkle in Techie's eyes when she says cool. Oh, we're all fuck. I love Techie! God damn it. I wrote characters I like, and it feels so weird to do that. I can't. Yeah, I think that's something you need to work on. Describing action clearly without muddying it and getting over specific is kind of tough, but for some scenes it seems like you have a really hard time with it. Absolutely correct, Clips. Tech, I breathe a sigh of relief when Alex steps up to the plate, looking right at Techie. It doesn't matter if we're okay. Remaining here obviously doesn't like the thought of hurting us. Everything matters, we're all fine afterwards? Yep. Techie responds far too quickly and sounds far too confused. There resists the temptation to facepalm this naivety. Tomo has lost the will to deal with his garbage right now. I don't like Clips. I don't only like Techie. You guys remember he's just like mine. I mean, I'm not Techie. But I don't want to lose control, Techie. It's like I'm pleading to a wall. She doesn't even seem to start to understand the problem. I don't want to get so angry or so scared that I end up just losing myself. Let's gain that control back. When I was thinking that control back, I mean, Ao's voice is like a steady pillar that I'm glad to lean on. Letter looks like it was sent by the cradle. Don't know much about their deck and stuff. The only thing we had know this. Ao's harsh and controlled appearance, loose and silently, she keeps talking. Then we can talk about anything you want, Miko. I look down for a second, thinking about this entire mess. Thinking about how much has happened and how much was going to happen. Thinking about how much there's still left to be done. Okay. Or the words come out slowly and certain. I look at everyone. So then, what's the plan? Everyone turns to look to me, each with a different look of expectation plastered on. Tomo grins, giving her a hearty laugh as she looks at me. Come on, girl, don't you know that's your job? I frown, but I understand that Tomo was right. The letter was addressed to me. This is my responsibility. Knowing that, for the rather hectic morning to come, I devised a plan. Not be the best, especially not now, but we need one. All of us do. Fuck, that is 23 pages of this goddamn thing, and this is why I'm a fucking I need to write. It took me 2 hours. Oh, save my soul. Save my soul. This is save my soul. Save it right now. Okay. So that's gonna be it for today on this writing stream where I didn't write a single goddamn word. Don't worry. Streaming is gonna... Oh, fuck. This is going on again on fucking... Thursday? Really? Yeah, I'll try and finish reading it up on my own before Thursday, but I hate myself so much. Hate. Anyway, thank you everyone for coming who did come. I hope you had feelings that were positive for this stream. This is going to be a regular occurrence from now on, happening every day where I'm not streaming a video game, which is going to be like, what, 4 days a week? Yeah. Yeah, I assume Techie was a self-insert. Techie is not a self-insert. I would not want to be Techie. I wouldn't want to be Miko. I wouldn't want to be any of them. Yeah. So, we'll be going... Let's just give this update. We'll be going live for some Sleepy Steam surfing tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As well, we'll be going live, I'll repeat, going live again on Wednesday for fucking the game called Gaming... The games of the things, yes. Church Azure. As well, Clipstation is going to be streaming Ys 8 later tonight at 8 p.m., so go check him out if you've enjoyed chatting with him. Thank you all again for coming to this very dullish stream. Azure? No, zero. Azure? Zero. Azure to zero. Trails to thoughts. I'm broken. Have a great day, everyone. Oh my god, can I be fixed? The answer will be in your dreams, all I got to say. Goodbye.